When we talk about human being in the beginning of the creation, we only know Adam and Eve and their two sons, Cain and Abel. But Genesis chapter 4 verse 17 says, Cain made love to his wife. Where then did Cain get his wife? The most obvious answer to this question must be that Adam and Eve had other children, including daughters. Indeed, Genesis chapter 5 verse 4 plainly says as much. Adam had other sons and daughters. Therefore, Cain must have married his sister. But to admit this is to raise a further difficulty. Was he thereby guilty of incest? At least two things can be said in response to this reproach. First, if the human race was propagated from a single pair, as we believe the evidence indicates, such closely related marriages were unavoidable. The demand for some other way of getting the race started is an unfair expectation. In the second place, the notion of incest must be probed more closely. At first, the sin of incest was connected with sexual relationship between parents and children. Only afterwards, the notion of incest extended to siblings' relationship. Only by the time of Moses, there were laws governing all forms of incest, which we will find those references in Leviticus chapter 18, chapter 20, chapter 21, Deuteronomy chapter 22, and Deuteronomy chapter 27. These laws clearly state that sexual relations or marriage is forbidden with the mother, father, stepmother, sister, brothers, half-sister, etc. The list goes on. The Bible, in the meantime, notes that Abraham married his half-sister, Genesis chapter 20 verse 12. Therefore, the phenomenon is not unknown in Scripture. Prior to Moses' time, incest in many of the forms later prescribed were not thought to be wrong. Thus, even Moses' own father, Amram, married an aunt, his father's sister, Jochebed. Exodus chapter 6 verse 20. The genetic reason for forbidding incest were not always an issue. Close inbreeding in ancient times was without serious or any genetic damage, so that leaves us with the conclusion that Cain married his sister and that was acceptable. A passing remark, I don't intend to encourage nor agree with incest through this video, but simply putting the facts and life setting in the context of pre-mortal era in response to the question of where did Cain get his wife.